There comes a time in every man's life when he watches someone he once held dear walk away. And worse, walk straight into the arms of someone new. And in that moment, it doesn't just hurt, it haunts. You tell yourself it's over, that you should move on, but deep down, there's a quiet voice asking, was I not enough? How could she move on so quickly? And why does it still ache so deeply, even though I pretend I don't care? If that's you, breathe. You're not broken. You're simply at the beginning of one of the most important inner reckonings a man will ever face. Because the truth is, she may act like it didn't matter, like you were just another chapter, already replaced, already forgotten. But what she shows the world isn't the truth. It's the armor. It's the mask she wears to avoid facing what she doesn't yet understand. That something real was lost. And you were never just temporary. The man she's with now? He's not your replacement, he's her escape. A momentary pause from the silence, the reflection, and the discomfort that follows something genuine. He's a distraction, not a destination. And the truth is, novelty always fades. It doesn't have roots. It doesn't hold when storms come. You did. You weren't perfect, but you were real. And real lingers in the quiet when no one is watching. Stoicism teaches us not to chase what's fleeting, not to tie our peace to things we cannot control. Her choices? That's her journey. Her rebound? That's not your concern. What matters now is the man you choose to become because of it. Not to prove something to her, but to reveal something within yourself. You don't disappear to make her chase. You vanish to find yourself. You stay silent not because you're defeated, but because you've outgrown the noise. And while she's filling space, you're building substance. While she seeks validation, you're seeking virtue. So if you're here wondering whether she'll come back, whether her new guy will last, let me offer you something better. She might. He won't. But by the time she does, you'll have already risen into someone she no longer has access to. That's not revenge. That's growth. That's Stoicism in motion. And that's your power. 10 Stoic insights on her return and your rise. Number 1. Your silence is not an absence. It's a statement of strength. When you step away, the world may think you've retreated. She may even interpret it as weakness. But silence, to a Stoic, is never an accident. It's discipline. You don't engage in drama because you've outgrown it. You don't explain yourself because truth doesn't need defense. In that quiet, she begins to hear the echoes of what she walked away from. The louder her world becomes, the more deafening your absence grows. Number 2. She left to feel free, but she'll realize she was safe with you. Freedom, when confused with novelty, often leads to regret. At first, she may feel empowered, new conversations, fresh energy. But over time, she'll realize that excitement isn't the same as peace. You didn't offer thrill, you offered grounding. And when life inevitably brings her back to stillness, she'll remember how calm it felt to be beside a man who didn't just entertain her, but steadied her. Number 3. The man who doesn't chase becomes the one she can't forget. You didn't beg, you didn't plead. And because of that, you became something rare. Most men try to win her back. You vanished, not to punish her, but to protect your own spirit. That composure unsettles her, not because it's cold, but because it's unfamiliar. She remembers the man who remained rooted when the winds blew wild. That memory, it doesn't fade, it deepens. Number 4. Her return is inevitable, but it's no longer your goal. The more you grow, the less her choices define your worth. You no longer check her page, you no longer run the what-ifs, because somewhere along the way, your focus shifted from trying to win her back to becoming the man you were meant to be. If she returns, let it be. But you are no longer waiting. You're moving. Number 5. You rise, not to prove her wrong, but to prove yourself right. There's a power that comes when you stop asking, does she regret it? And start declaring, I was never meant to stay broken. Every moment you spend bettering your mind, building your body, and clarifying your values is a silent declaration that your worth was never up for negotiation. She may see the change, but more importantly, you feel it. Number 6. Her new relationship wasn't love, it was a lesson in contrast. She'll come to see that what she sought in him was what she ignored in you. His charm may fade, his depth may not exist. And while she was busy chasing moments, you were mastering presence. That contrast, the ease you bring versus the performance she tolerates, will teach her more about value than anything you could have ever said. Number 7. You don't need her validation to know you've grown. You're not doing this for her to notice. You're doing it because self-mastery is your new standard. You've stopped measuring your progress by her reaction. You wake up early, not to impress, but because your life now has rhythm and reason. Whether she watches or not, your path remains unchanged, because her gaze is no longer your goal, freedom is. Number 8, detachment is the final stage of power. Stoicism teaches us that the only thing truly ours is our own mind. You've detached not because you're bitter, but because you've learned the difference between being wanted and being respected. You no longer fear losing her because you've gained something far greater, yourself. When she reaches out, you won't hesitate out of cruelty, but you won't cling out of hope either. That balance, that's what makes you untouchable. Number 9, the test will come, and you'll be ready. There will be a moment when she circles back. A message, a memory, a soft "how have you been?" And that's when the man you've become will meet the man you used to be. Old emotions may whisper, but new standards will answer. You won't react from need. You'll respond, if at all, from clarity. That's not rejection, that's evolution. Number 10, you are the prize now, and you always were becoming it. The truth is, she didn't leave a man fully formed. She left a man mid-journey. But now, after the silence, the solitude, and the soul work, you've become something she never expected, whole without her. That's the final Stoic insight. Her return no longer defines your value, because your worth was never hers to grant. It was yours to uncover. There comes a point in every man's life when he must choose how he will respond to pain, not just heartbreak, but betrayal, disappointment, or abandonment. And the contrast between the Stoic man and the emotionally entangled man becomes most vivid in these moments. Not when things are easy, but when the heart is tested. The emotional man reacts. His instinct is to fight for what slipped away, to defend himself against silence with noise, and to grasp for explanations as if closure from her lips will heal a wound only he can stitch. He sends long texts that reveal too much. He checks her social media for clues. He reads between lines that were never written, and in doing so, he makes her the center of his healing. He waits for her validation, as if his peace depends on her permission to move forward. It doesn't, but he hasn't realized that yet. The Stoic man lives differently. He feels the pain too, deeply. But he does not let that pain pull him out of alignment with who he's committed to becoming. He doesn't suppress the ache. He meets it, observes it, learns from it. He doesn't let anger dictate his tone or let longing distort his memory. Instead of proving himself to her, he returns to the only proving ground that matters, his own character. The Stoic man lets go, not because he doesn't care, but because he understands that clinging to what's gone is an anchor disguised as hope. Where the emotional man seeks resolution in another, the Stoic man seeks refinement in himself. He doesn't need to perform strength, he cultivates it in silence. He doesn't post for attention, he builds without applause. His calm is not passivity, it's power disciplined into stillness. And perhaps most striking of all, when she returns, as they often do, he doesn't measure her reappearance as validation. He sees it clearly for what it is, a reflection of the work he's done on himself. The emotional man is pulled by every ripple in the sea of circumstance. The Stoic man remains anchored, not because he's indifferent to love, but because he refuses to lose himself inside of it. One is a man of reaction, the other is a man of principle. In a world that rewards noise, the Stoic man chooses clarity. In a culture that chases attention, he cultivates presence. And in love or in loss, he never forgets the foundation he stands on, that he is whole already, and no departure, no silence, no mistake from another can take that from him. That's not detachment, it's self-possession. And it is from that place of peace, not pride, that he walks forward, not above her, not beneath her, but beyond the need for her to define him. And that is what makes him unforgettable. You spent so long wondering if she'd come back, and maybe a part of you believed that if she did, it would mean something, that it would finally fill the space she left behind. But now you know the truth. Her return doesn't matter, because you already did. You came back to yourself. You rose from the silence. You rebuilt without an audience. And in doing so, you uncovered a version of you that no longer needs the apology, the explanation, or the validation. You became your own turning point. That is the essence of Stoic strength. Not to numb the pain, but to master it. Not to chase what left, but to honor what stayed. Your values, your growth, your peace. This isn't about proving anything to her. It's about proving to yourself that your worth was never up for debate. And if she does return, all she'll find is a man who no longer waits, no longer wonders, and no longer needs what he once thought he couldn't live without. So here's the only question left. Are you going to keep looking back, or are you going to keep building forward? If this message resonated with you, subscribe to Ultimate Stoicism. This space is for men who choose clarity over chaos, who walk with purpose, and who refuse to be broken by what broke them. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your story might be exactly what another man needs to hear today. Stand firm, keep rising. You already came back stronger. Now keep going.